How's it going, people? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another Fourever Arsenal podcast. Another Fourever Arsenal podcast off the back of another big away win. Goals. It's 6 this time. It's at Sheffield United and we're here to talk about it and we're going to preview the upcoming Brentford game as well near the end. Comments of the day, prediction table, all of that. You know how it goes. Hit the like button. Let's get past 1,000 likes nice and early. Make sure you subscribe to all of that stuff. Big up James, Lee, and Jordan in the building, bright and early Tuesday morning. It's 8 a.m. at this moment in time. Lee, you're only a few hours back from Sheffield, right?
Yeah, but my dedication to the course keeps me going, So, got up with a spring in my step, I have to say, it's been what can you say? I said on my fan cam yesterday, I'm in dreamland with this Arsenal at the moment. I can't remember us playing like this away from home at any stage in my life supporting Arsenal, when realistically people are predicting 5-6 nils and we're getting them and deservedly so. Yesterday, I think if it weren't for the game on Saturday, I think we could have hit double figures last night. I really do believe that, and that's nothing against Sheffield United. I actually felt sorry for them yesterday. But my problem with Arsenal over the years has always been, at times, we've never really been ruthless. Particularly in Arsene Wenger's era, we could have won so many games by a bigger margin, and we sort of took our foot off the gas, made substitutions, etc., and probably won 2-3-0 instead of destroying a team. And I've often walked out of grounds and whatever saying, well, we should have destroyed them. We destroyed Sheffield United after 20 minutes yesterday. It was a non-contest. And I'll be really honest, lads, all week been well confident we was going to win the game. But on the actual day of the game, going up there, I was nervous, thinking, anything can happen and everything. After 20 minutes, the away, it's just it's so comfortable in there. It's like there's no pressure on it. My biggest concern now is that when a team gives us a game, we're not going to be quite ready for it. Do you know what I mean? Because we're just breezing past teams. Some of the football yesterday, again, was breathtaking. The goals opening up. So we actually, before we scored, probably should have been 2-0 up. We hit the bar. We had one knocked off the line. One went across the goal. I'll tell you what, that first 20 minutes, the attitude of the lads was fantastic. And I'm going to go back to a quote that's made me feel a little bit very, very, very confident with Arsenal at the moment. When they asked Declan Rice, what do you think about being in the title race and everything like that? And he just looked in the camera and went, we're all enjoying it. And I'm bloody enjoying it and all.
I'm bloody enjoying it at all. So am I. I can't even lie. I mean, you are right. Even the great Invincibles, we used to rip teams apart, and in the first 20 minutes, I remember we used to put games to bed, and it felt like one of those ones. In recent games, it feels like that ruthless cutting edge that well, I say was necessary last season. It was, in order to maybe get over the line come the end of the season. But when you put into the fact that it was our first title challenge young side, I think it was, learned off. I think this season, James asked me the question last week. I think he asked me yesterday as well about are we better placed now to deal with the rigors and the challenges of a title challenge, because we're managing to mix it up so well now. We can take teams to the sword, we can rip them apart, rip them to shreds. We've got set pieces as part of our arsenal, no pun intended. And we've shown this season that we can, chop it up with Man City. We can chop it up with Liverpool. We're 4 fixtures against those sides and not one loss so far this season, if we include the Community Shield 1-1 as well. 4 fixtures against, Liverpool obviously beat us in their FA Cup, so 5 fixtures, 1 loss, and four without a loss. But when you compare that to the previous maybe 8 years before that, this is by far our best season against the top 2 teams. And it's by far our best season against the teams lower down the table as well. If we're talking about goals and talking about the way we're handling them, we're on course to beat our goals scored tally from last season. I think our goals scored tally from last season was the most we ever scored in Premier League era. So things are really they're really looking good. I can't even lie. They're looking so good. I just want to get to that Man City game. I know it's too far ahead. I know one game at a time. But I just want to get to that Man City game, through in the Champions League, 3 points at Brentford as well, against Brentford in the bag as well, and just go into that with last year when we played Man City. Both times we went into that game having lost a few games or dropped points leading up where our heads were down. We've got a real big chance now, because if you couple up our form, when asked who's the best team in the Premier League at this moment in time, who's playing the best football, it is Arsenal. But we just need to get to that. Look at Man City. Last few games, even at the Etihad, they haven't looked their usual self. Obviously, there's still, near enough 30 days left until that game comes. But we've got to look at that and think, this is a massive chance for us this season. I don't want to think too far ahead, and I've already started talking about it because we've still got 6 goals to talk about and a clean sheet. But I don't know, man.
Turkish, did you see, because I know obviously we did the watch along, but I don't know if you caught any of Carragher and Henry's pre-match analysis on Arsenal. I think it was pre-match, I don't think it was after, but they looked at the XG difference, or XG differential. Basically, it takes our XG minus our XG conceded compared to every other team in the league to basically give us an idea of, how we're looking in terms of goals scored or chances to score and chances conceded. We're quite a bit ahead of Man City at the very top there, and that's a really big thing. Like, in every kind of little bit of every metric, every bit of data, we've scored the most goals in the league, we've conceded the least. We're on flying form in our last 7 games. The XG difference, as I mentioned there, we're still third. But it's the hope that this tips over the edge by the end of the season, that actually if we maintain this, it happened. I got the thumbs up. It worked. Did you see that?
I didn't see it.
Well, get off your
It
phone.
did work.
Sorry.
I did the thumbs up and it worked.
Did anybody else see it?
Nah, as soon as you started speaking about XG, I've nodded off. Sorry.
Well, your fucking, legend Thierry Henry was talking about it, yeah? So why don't you educate yourself? Yeah, I know you've had 3 hours sleep. Yeah, let's pick a tactical insight. Yeah, but never mind. You know what? It's too early to be for league judges. Yeah, see, you're not getting a thumbs up. Although I don't know why I'm not doing it now.
My computer ain't even woke up yet. It's a bit on sleep like I am, or two.
Yeah, no, same. Like every bit of data suggests that we are the best team in the league right now. It's just not the league table position. But I'm hoping that changes in a couple days. Well, under a week.
Well, one of them is bound to. Again, we're kind of off, not off point. We can go back to the game, but one of them, if not both of them, will be dropping points this weekend, and then we've got a chance to take points off another couple of weeks after that. So March is, as much as March has only 3 games left for us, March is massive for us at the same time. That Porto game, that Man City game becomes more massive if we win the game against Brentford this weekend. I don't know, man. It's looking very good. Jordan, you've been quiet, man. I'm waiting for you to say. I've got one negative to say.
Not this. I've got one partial negative, but I want to start off by just saying, I don't know about Lee and James, but I'm just so happy to see you happy, Turkish. I just love seeing you.
Yeah.
You genuinely look like you don't know what to do with yourself. You are genuinely happy about Arsenal Football Club and the team, and I love it. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. You deserve it. You deserve it.
Bro, I'm about to lose myself, bro. If this team wins and made a trophy, you're going to see a trophy you've never seen before in life. I'm going to make the opposition.
I'm here for it.
Their stomachs.
I'm with you. Don't worry. I'm going to be unbearable as well. I'm with my man Lee. My only negative, if there is a negative from the game, is we didn't get 10. And I know that sounds very, very arrogant. That sounds very presumptuous. And you're often seeing when teams win 5-0, oh, we could have won 8 or 9. No. We genuinely could have scored 8, 9, 10 goals last night. And I think Lee's right. There's something about Arsenal that just doesn't, when they have their foot on the neck, doesn't just fit. Just a record was there to be broken. It's very rare in Premier League games where you get a chance where you can genuinely score 8, 9, 10 goals. Last night for me feels like an opportunity miss. Go on, Turkish. Go on.
I do think that probably at 6 probably at 5, 6, they started thinking they need to save some energy because they got lives at home, sex, Netflix, and chill. They've got to save
But Turkish, my question is, why is it either or? Why is it either or?
You got to talk to the nutritionist about that. I'm just trying to weigh up the. I'm trying to understand it.
It's a fair point. It's a fair point. But I think I just genuinely thought. I mean, it's not a stretch to say it could have been 3 after 10 minutes. I mean,
4 minutes.
Could have been
like 5. Yeah, exactly. So, and the West Ham game was hilarious when I saw the fans walking out on 34 minutes. I was stunned. They were leaving at 15. They were leaving at 15. I mean, Lee, you were there, but they were leaving at 15 minutes. And I think this is a lot about Arsenal's form right now. We're basically telling teams, look, I dare you to attack us. I dare you to attack us. If you feel brave, if you feel wicked, attack us. Because if you attack us, you're going to get slapped. You're going to get absolutely slapped. And I'm more than here for it. Look, I don't have anything massive to say on the game. The game is what it is. Sheffield United are awful. We're in red hot form. We put them to the swords. And we handled our business. The only player that I do want to kind of mention, and this is my partial criticism, is Havertz. Havertz was brilliant yesterday. He was very, very good. And I think if we're judging Kai Havertz on the game yesterday, I think he was excellent. He was brilliant. I'm not going to take that away from him. Only to say, I need that performance against a good team. Can I get that Kai Havertz against a team of quality? And I'm not trying to take away his shine, but I need that Havertz against a half decent team. It's still got a good.
Did we not get? I thought we did. I thought we got that Havertz against Newcastle.
All right,
Liverpool.
Liverpool won more so. The Liverpool won, I think, more so, but he still missed a hat trick of chances. So I need a performance and the clinical finish. But look, Kai Havertz was very good. I don't want to, like I say, take away his shine. And Arsenal are red hot form right about now. So we handled our business. One final thing I will say, though, is I put in the group that I thought the AFTV social media team were a disgrace for the post that they put up before the game saying, how many goals do you think we'll score? I take it back. I take it back. It still feels it was a little bit, I'm not sure about it, but when they score 6-0 away after you post it, you're kind of vindicated, to be fair. But no, brilliant performance. And I think I should say we're in dreamland.
Listen, I'm with you on that, because when we was travelling up yesterday, Robbie asked a question, what do you think the score is? And Cecil went 6-0 and Julian went 7-0. And there was a big argument, it's the Premier League, you got, disrespect and all that. And part of me believed that if we did score early, it could be 4 or 5. But to predict 6 or 7 nils in a Premier League game does seem a bit arrogant. I have to say that, but it's a reality, guys. You know what I mean? As Jordan says, that realistically should have been 10 yesterday, And listen. Did I feel sorry for Sheffield? I felt sorry for their fans yesterday, and it wasn't like, it's anything against Sheffield United. I'm thinking of goal average and things like that. But they took a player off yesterday after 15 minutes.
12.
Was it 12?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How unbelievable is that, to do that? They made substitutions at half time, and there was probably 20, 25 minutes into the game before I think there was a real bad tackle on an Odegaard, because this is a professional football team, yeah. I don't care where they are in the league. They could not get a glove on it. They could not get near us. They were, they were trying to. It's not like they weren't working hard and just being lazy. They were trying to shut down. They were trying to get closer. They just couldn't do it. And in the end, one of them said, "My professional pride can't take this no more," and just smashed into Odegaard. And if I was his manager, I would have turned around and said, "Yeah, well done," because at the end of the day, it was humiliation from a team in the Premier League. I ain't seen nothing like that before in watching football. I've seen it when we've done. I've seen Arsenal play teams in lower leagues and in cup games and struggle and find it very, very hard to break teams down and whatever like that. They're just breezing past teams. And I think what you have to get into perspective here, the last time we went to Sheffield United as fans, like where fans are allowed to go in, we lost 1-0 against this team. The difference now between us and whatever that day was is so far over the hill and gone. It's incredible.
And that's a good little timestamp, because that is about a month or two before Arteta got into the job. So it's a really good checkpoint for looking at how far we've come.
This whole respect thing and whatnot. I mean, I heard against Porto, and I get it. I'm not even comparing Porto and Sheffield United. It's not a disrespect of the opposition. It's more of a belief in our own side. Like we're during the Invincible era, every week I was like, just every week until it was Man United, I would just like smoke them, score goals, excite, play good football, do what you need to do. Man City in their heyday, you think their fans gave a shit about whether they're playing Sheffield United or whether they're playing West Ham or whether they're playing Bournemouth or Brentford? At their peak, there was smoking teams left, right, and centre, and their fans believed that every week they'll win. Liverpool in their title-winning season,
but that's the key. That's the key, Turkish. Liverpool and City were coming off the back of title challenges or even title wins. I think as Arsenal with no title in 20 years, I don't think it's disrespectful for us to be discussing offline or thinking it's going to be 6-0 today. That's fine. Because I think we all, with our form and Sheffield United's form, that's a fair conclusion to come to. It was just putting it out there online. I just was like, hang on a minute. We're still 20 years without a title. Let's get a title first before we start then rocking up to these lesser teams and predicting 6 and 7s outwardly. I know I predicted a 6-1, but I said that as a caveated it with, I think it'll be 2-1. So I don't think it's disrespectful to be thinking it'll be 6-0. It's just more putting it out there with nothing behind you. I just thought was a bit, if you won a title last season and you're going into the Sheffield United game now, cool, you can back it up and say, well, we've won a title. We've won nothing. So I just thought we've been stung before.
I think, listen, over the last few games, I don't know if we're going to touch on it, but we broke quite a few records. I think amount of goals scored in 3 away games, clean sheets coupled up with that, 2 goals in each 45-minute half of football for the last 8 halves since the second half against Liverpool. All these records alone are cute. They're nice. If these records fall under a team that winning major trophies, that's when these records become great, because you look at that era of team and then you see, wow, they got that record, they got that record, they got that title, they got that title. So I'm 100% with you, Jordan. 100% that these records and smoking teams like Sheffield United or Burnley West, it's nice, it's cute, but it has to lead somewhere. But obviously, we won't know where it leads us to until then. But yeah, the records it can be great.
I get the apprehension. I did that little 4-minute monologue or whatever in the last podcast about how, look, why I don't think this might necessarily be as easy a game as everyone expected. And, and I quote tweeted that AFTV post saying I thought it'd be a nervy win. And you can imagine after 4-0 up after 25 minutes, people are ripping me online for it. And look, fair enough, have your fun. But if I'd said it's going to be a nervy game at home to West Ham after we just played the way we did at Anfield, a lot of people would have responded the same way. James, it's ridiculous. West Ham, blah, blah, blah. And now, okay, West Ham, to be fair, not Sheffield United this season. Let's have some. I think what I didn't quite acknowledge, and I'm not trying to pile in and kick a club while they're down, but I didn't realise Sheffield United were that bad. I mean, that they were really, 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 really poor. So maybe I didn't quite think of that. I was just more thinking of away against a Premier League side, on a Monday night. How would Arsenal do? But I think the question is, are Arsenal going to smoke everyone they're playing, bar City and Liverpool? Like, I think there are going to come some nervy, more difficult, we've just gone an hour without a goal, we haven't quite found it. Like, that will come for me in our last 11 games, and I'm interested to see which one it is. But maybe thinking that it was going to be Sheffield United was, a touch too reserved, because they really have been poor. Like, and everything, like I mentioned, every stat points the other way for them. What were you saying, Jordan? You had your hand up.
Yeah, no. I've just. This might sound a bit wild, a bit crazy, but stick with me. A couple of quick points, and it feeds off of your point there, James. I don't even think that all the goals we've been scoring, and it's been brilliant, and it's been really fun, and I think it's turning into an extra point. I think all the goals we're scoring now, it's going to actually be an extra point for us when it's going to be a tight end. It's amazing, but I didn't have concerns about scoring 4 past Newcastle. I didn't have concerns about scoring 5 past Palace. I didn't have concerns about scoring 6 past. Those are all things I thought could happen. West Ham game was a bit of an anomaly, but my bigger concern is, to your point there, James, it's the games coming up where we're not creating 8, 9, 10 chances and converting 5 or 6. It's the games where we create 2, 3 good chances. My fear is, do we still have a player that can convert a chance when it really, really matters in a really tight game? I don't know if we do. I've said before, I don't think Jesus is the guy. But all these goals are great. But there will be some games coming up whereby you can't smoke everybody 5, 6, 7-0, whatever it may be. And my fear is, do we have the guy that can take that one chance when we need it in a really big game? This is why, despite all the goals we've been scoring, for me, I still want a striker. I still want a striker because I'm still not convinced that Saka, Martinelli and Odegaard are the guys that in those crucial moments, in those big games with 5 games to go, when you get one chance in the game, they're going to take it. But my bigger point is I don't even think the goals is what wins us title. I said after the Fulham game, I think defending is where we're going to win this title. And if you look at our last handful of games, clean sheet against Sheffield United, clean sheet against Crystal Palace, clean sheet against West Ham, 1 goal conceded against Liverpool, 1 goal conceded against Newcastle, 1 against Nottingham Forest. I still maintain that the triangular or the threesome of Saliba, Gabriel and Rice will ultimately be more important than the threesome of Saka, Martinelli and Odegaard. Those guys are doing the job right now, and it's really, we need goals to win games. But I still maintain that right about now, the defence is what's really given me the faith, and I think will be what wins us the league if we do win the league. We're basically saying to teams, as far as I'm concerned, if you want to beat us, you got to score 3. You've got to score 3. If you want to beat us, you've got to score 3. And right about now, we're not even conceding 3 goal-scoring chances, let alone 3 goals. So that, for me, is where my confidence is. We need a gunman in the summer, because I still have doubts about those crucial chances in the crucial moments. But my bigger, I guess, faith lies in our defence. We're defending really, really, really well. Another clean sheet last night, to my frustration, gets that later on. But more important than me, the clean sheet, the defending. We haven't got a Haaland or a Salah, but what we do have is a Rodri. What we do have is a Van Dijk. What we do have is a Diaz. And I think that is what we need to lean into if we're going to win this title this season.
Yeah, defensively.
I think it's a great point. The 2 central halves are fantastic, but our 2 central defenders that won titles and we won cups and everything like that. Okay, like, let's go Adams, Keown, you can go Campbell. So they had Patrick Vieira in front of them. They had the protection of a Gilberto, an Edu, Ray Parler, Petit, all of those sort of players in front of them. And what Arsenal have got now is that and more with Declan Rice. I have to say that. But Declan Rice yesterday wasn't the defensive part. Jorginho was again there, and he just slots in there and he just makes them. Do you know what? He just stand there. That's the wrong word to say. I was watching him yesterday. He don't really press, He just stays in the areas, just protecting the front, the back 2, and then orchestrates what's going on from there. Every other player shuts down and harasses and goes from there on, and that's central defenders as well. Like 2-3 years ago, Bernie would have caused us all sorts of problems as a centre forward. We wouldn't have been able to handle his physical presence and things like that. And Gabriel gobbled him up so much so he went off at half time. Do you remember, there was times we got bullied a little bit by central defenders, centre forwards and things like that, and teams like that? That is not happening no more. Gabriel, it was all over whoever it be physical. I don't know if you remember the game against Brighton when Ferguson played. He smashed him into a pulp where I don't think Ferguson's come back from that yet. As a player, got given a massive lesson about, and I watched I watched Gabriel yesterday, 1-2-0, 3-0. He's still defending like his life meant everything on it. Like I love that. Absolutely loved it. And then Saliba just sweeping up things and just making starting attacks and all that, like, you know. And then when you get into Jorginho for 45 minutes, you know, the teams are going to have to start putting a player on him, because I tell you what, he was dictating play yesterday. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Burnley did put one on him in the end, you know. But I do think that the protection's there. Declan Rice is just all over the place at the minute. You know, he's popping up in front of goal, our goal, taking corners. The work rate of the team is unbelievable. I watched it last night, just the work rate of that team. There's a desire. There's a desire with this team. Now, we might not win the league because I'm going to be really honest. I haven't seen. We were talking about this last night, you know what I mean? That many better Arsenal teams than what I'm watching at this moment in time. But there's another two good teams out there, like, you know, that's the thing. I think that when we was the Invincibles, Man United were not quite as good as us. And then after that, Liverpool, there was a big drop off, like, you know. We're up against three juggernauts of the teams where we've gone 7 games without defeat, and we're at 1-7, and we're saying we've got to win the next one. We've got to win the next one. We've got to win the next one. This is going to go to the wire, boys, and we're in it.
I think,
you know?
I think Jordan's right. The platform for many great sides, if not every great side, is a good defense. You're not going to create, you know, the abundance of chances we've been creating week in, week out now. But I think we might have gone through that patch in the season, Jordan. I mean, as you was talking there, I look back at our fixtures. Look, 2-1 Nottingham Forest. We beat Palace 1-0. We beat Everton 1-0. There's a 1-0 against Brentford in there. There's obviously a 2-2 Fulham, 2-2 Chelsea. So there's games where during these times we talked about we're not creating enough. We're not putting teams to the sword. But we come at the back end, second half of the season, where we expected it to kind of click into gear with our performance level from last season. And that's where I think now, if we have a game where it is a bit tighter, chances are few and far between. We have set pieces as part of the Arsenal now, in terms of we know now to getting the ball in the box. We've got Gabriel, we've got Saliba, we've got Ben White, Tomiyasu, if they're on there. They're pretty physical, tall guys. We've got Declan Rice, Kivior. We've got so much, you know, physical presence now that, and you look at the numbers. I mean, set piece goals were the highest in the league. We've been the highest, and a couple of games during this smoke period, I'd say. Newcastle, I think the first Newcastle, bless you, was a goal from a set piece. I think the first goal against West Ham was a goal from a set piece, if I'm not mistaken, off the top of my head. So there's games where West Ham first 25 minutes, it didn't look like it was going to be a mauling. First 25 minutes, it looked like it's going to be a tough game. You know, they're in with it. There's a little threat maybe on the counter. One goal goes in from the set piece, everything else opens up. So I think that softens up that worry, in my opinion. Obviously, I still agree that we do need a gunman. You know, there's nothing to debate now, nothing to talk about, because we can't get that gunman in. So we've got to make do with what we have. But I'm just hoping that we won't be talking about, if only we had that 20-goal-a-year striker again this season. I just hope we don't mention that again this season, because we all know I think we do need that. But
we can't affect it now.
Yeah. Can I ask a question? Can I ask a quick question quickly? Sorry, John.
No.
You know, when we was struggling a little bit, I won't say struggle, we was winning games, and I was coming on again, well, we're not playing as well as what we was last year, and I'm a little bit worried and all that. Did you think we could turn it on like we have done through that little spell where we was winning games? Because I never see us coming this good. I really didn't. I thought we might come good, but you know, when we was going, Ben White, I remember me saying, like, well, Ben White's not playing as well as what he was. Saka's not playing as well as what. Martinelli's not. Name me a player that's playing better than they were last season. All of a sudden, Ben White's performances have gone right through the roof. Saka's, Martinelli, by the way, was sensational yesterday. They were unplayable at times. They've all sort of come back into form. I never see this coming like it is.
No, well, I will give fans credit. I do think amongst the concerns, some fans were saying, and even those who maybe didn't believe it were at least asking the question, are we trying to do what City do, which is, you know, temper it a little bit and then
Pace yourself.
pace yourself. That's it. You know, people were asking that question whether they believed we could do it, because it's like everything we're saying and all the doubts. So what really annoys me about Arsenal fans is when, you know, they do roll into that arrogance slightly. And then everything Jordan was saying was spot on. We actually haven't won the title in 20 years. Like, let's, you know, yes, you might be right. Yes, this might be the season that it finally gets done, but don't be surprised that there are still some doubters who aren't fully convinced it's going to happen. So I wasn't there going, oh yeah, you know, I'm relaxed because I know that come February we're going to be unbelievable. Turns out it's in January that we clicked. But what I did think was that this team always had it in them to get back to that. Whether I believed they would, and that it was all by design, and that we're eventually going to, you know, let loose and suddenly look even better than last year, I can't say I said that, but I knew they had it in them, because I always felt that while Timber was out, and I always felt it was going to make a big difference, but obviously we haven't seen him, and Thomas Partey's missed most of the season, and then we've had, you know, a lot of messing around with our strikers, and the wingers weren't quite firing. I thought, well, yeah, I mean, why can't we? If a few players raise their level and we make a few little tweaks, there's no reason why we can't. I think what surprised me, and even with the absence of some key players, Jorginho stepped up to a level I didn't expect. Kai Havertz has been legitimately really good up front. I didn't think we were going to get these performances from him. He's been great. And now everyone else has really come to the party even more so. So I always thought it was possible, but
I definitely thought it was possible, James. Me and you speak week in, week out. We watched the games week in, week out. That was part of the frustration of the first half of the season for me, because listen, we was there that's, you know, throughout the whole 19 games. But I just thought, you know, if we don't pick it up a little bit, if we don't get a bit of the old, because I don't mind the new, I don't mind seeing the controlling style, and we're still winning games. But I also want to see a bit of the old, where last season we was electrifying in attack. You know, the transition was quick, we was intent, we was direct, and I think we might look back at that West Ham, Fulham as a blessing in disguise, where Arteta really had to sit them down after that and make his own tweaks, because I think part of it is some tweaks, and I will talk about that in a sec, because I saw a couple moments that yesterday kind of defined the change, in my opinion. But he also had to tell the players, look at yourselves as well, because some of the players have mentioned that the handbrake's not on from Mikel Arteta. It's on them sometimes on the pitch. So it's only fair. Now, the two moments that, and it's probably not only two, before the comment section say, oh, he done that so many more times and you're just not seeing it. But Havertz, for the Martinelli goal, was one of the moments, and he done it again in the second half sometime, where a bit later on, where it didn't lead to a goal. But to Havertz striker, he drops in to collect it, but he drops in maybe near the left wing, near the right wing for us, sorry. He drops in, collects it. The first 19 games of the season, not only Havertz, but the first 19 games of the season, that person that collects it with a defender on their back is passing it back to Ben White. Ben White to Gabriel to, you know, Saliba. We start toying around with it again. Havertz, for that goal, it wasn't passing it back. He played it between the lines across the pitch to Odegaard in heaps of space, where it created like a 5-on-1. He done that twice. Now, that's a big difference for me, because the first half of last season, and I'm not putting this on Havertz, because every player did it, from Odegaard, Havertz, Jesus, Saka. We was very, very safe. But what we've been seeing this calendar year, and I think, you know, typified in those two moments from Havertz, is we're opening up a bit more. We found that balance perfect. The balance, James, remember I said the balance in our first 4 games last season was the best balance I've seen in the last 18 months. Well, now we've improved on that balance. I think the last the last 7 games, our balance has been even better than the first 14 of last season. So it was always in there. It was just about finding it. Now, listen, patience, virtue, I get that. And Mikel's done some great things, and hindsight is 2020. It's just, you know, we've waited so long that at times man can get frustrated by seeing what I perceive, or what many might perceive as, a lack of progress. But
well, also, Turkish, sorry to jump on that, but you said that, which I thought was spot on. Like, did Arteta use those 2 games where we lost to really get stuck into them and really like get some new ideas across. And maybe the Dubai trip, and then we're all kind of joking like, what do they do in Dubai? But in all seriousness, maybe it's just passing on a few. Let me just remind you of a few basic things you can do that will make a massive difference. And I think maybe we overestimate how much time there is for that message to always get across. I think we just assume when they're not playing, they're training. They're probably only training, I don't know, an hour and a half. I mean, Lee, you'll know more, but what do they train? Maybe an hour and a half a day? And then
Probably
it'll only be
2 hours they're doing.
right, and it'll only be 3. And and there's all these players you've got to keep, and then there's all the whatever other stuff they do, the one-on-one tactical stuff, the team. Like, there's probably not as much time as we kind of think there is to always get across certain messages. And again, where I think it's not just a case of it clicking, but actually something did change is how many times are we now seeing Saka and Martinelli inside in the pockets? And what annoys me, right? This is what I'm not trying to do an "I told you so" thing, but people like to go, "Oh yeah, you're the coach. Yeah, well if you're so good, why aren't you doing?" It's like just because you bring forward basic ideas, and we're all saying, why don't we get our best goal threats just a little bit more narrow? Just ask a different question. Now, how many times are we seeing Kivior and Ben White overlap now? Ben White rolled it across goal a few times and was a real attacking threat. Kivior's the one who goes for a no-look cutback to Martinelli when we go 3-0 up. And actually fans were saying in a bad patch, why don't we try different things? Remember against West Ham and Fulham, the ball goes wide to Saka. Odegaard comes deep. He's trying to give it and go, but actually everything's played in that touchline. Ends up going back to the centre-back. We try play through the middle. Oh, there's no one in the middle to hold up the ball. Like, we were saying these things. Like, I'm not like in the Fulham game. I'm not trying to have a go at Eddie Nketiah, right? Because he's not playing. But we said in that game, we lack something up front when it's Eddie because the ball doesn't always stick. There's not always an outlet. Now look what Jesus, Trossard, or maybe actually even Jesus' injuries probably isn't fair to put him there. Look at what Trossard and Havertz have done in that role in 2024. So I do think some of the things that fans were frustrated about, I think were totally valid. And I think they did use that time to try and get other ideas across. And you're seeing it. We're scoring different types of goals. We're scoring goals from set pieces, open play build-up, goals in transition. My favourite goal is the fourth one, because at 3-0 up after 15 minutes, you have every right to take your foot off the gas a little bit and go, cool, the job's done. And Havertz and Martinelli are absolutely harassing their centre-back to nick the ball back and make it 4. That's great focus and mentality. So I think something was genuinely worked on, and it's not just a case of, oh, it suddenly clicked and this was always the plan. I think they had to make changes.
I do think that you just reminded me about Havertz's finish, because it was a great finish. The confidence, he could have easily looked up and passed it, like Jesus did in a similar situation he had. Now, we might not have a 20-goal-a-year striker. We might not even have a striker that we all believe in terms of if they start the next, how many games are left? 11 games, we'll win the league. But what these strikers can do now is, I wanted Jesus to come off the bench and say, Havertz, okay, let me do better. He fucked up. He should have really taken that chance. He should have taken the shot. But next game, do the same. Havertz has stepped up in the last couple. Trossard stepped up in the last few as well this calendar year. I want Jesus to come back and say, no, I'm the guy. I've got the number 9 on my back, and so on. Then that might ask questions of Havertz or Trossard or vice versa. I think that could be the best way forward for the strikers in terms of a little competitive edge. I think someone mentioned it on the stream yesterday in terms of not Arsenal players, but Foden done what he done against Man United. It just looks like Foden and Saka are going back to back in terms of, who's gonna carry or lift or push their team towards the Premier League title. I like that competitive edge because that can be such a big motivational tool. Look at what the person in my position is doing, or the person that I'm compared to most doing, and do better. So I think Havertz, the confidence he is starting to show, in my opinion, now people will argue, oh, he's been doing it all the time. Turkish, you've been blind, cool, whatever. The last 2 games for me, levels. Jesus needs to look at that and say, because yesterday I said Jesus should have looked at Havertz the way he, took that chance on, because it was a chance until he put it in the back of the net, and do the same. You've been out a little while. Your competition is scoring goals. So I think that's the best way forward for these strikers now. Use each other as a motivational tool to fire us to the title, because defensive midfield and wings, we're all comfy in those positions. It's just up front where we're going to need to change it up sometimes, depending on opposition, depending on, how it's looking after 45, 60. So the attack's going to be the most interesting one moving forward, I think.
And actually, Turkish. Oh, sorry. Go on, Lee. Go on.
No, I just think Havertz has given us a different dimension up there. I really do. I think it's helping our wide players. I think that you don't really know what you're going to get from Arsenal. Like, are they going to cross the ball in? Are they not? I think, like, you know, the one thing I give Havertz credit for this season more than anything is, which has been laid at that he's lazy or not physical. I think he's shown that all season. I think
I agree. Yeah,
physical side of his game, he's really, when he's not played well, he's put himself about and everything like that. And you know, people have turned around and said, I expect a little bit more from a £60 million player than just putting it about. But it's all coming to fruition now, where he's putting it about still when things are clicking for him. Like, you know, I don't think Ben White would have scored that goal 3 months ago.
I nearly left it.
Right, you know?
Sorry.
What now? What have I said now?
Sorry. To James.
James never hold it in, though. You always look at James.
To James. Oh man. Oh jeez. James is brutal. James is brutal.
I think to you.
Getting back to that goal, the control, we was right by that, like, you know, that control for that goal for Willie Led.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, was unbelievable. It's not only fantastic control, guys, it is under pressure. And it was brilliant, like, you know.
Indeed.
Sorry, James. Lee, when you see James next time, beat him up. Just beat him up.
Beat him up.
Well, you know.
I haven't said anything.
But I'm people come up to me last night. I got a bit at the hump with it yesterday. Like, a couple of people come up to me and said, "Oh, like, are you backing Kai Havertz now?" Like, and I said, "I've packed him all season, mate."
No, you have. To be fair, Morgan Daniel on the podcast.
And I'm not just because he's
done
well.
People should just shut the fuck up with all of that as well. Like, you're back. Even yesterday on the watch along, like, a couple of super chats coming when we're 2-3-0 up, saying, I want to hear Turkish's evaluation of Havertz. Now, people need to understand this is what causes the back and forth. We're 2-3-0 up. People are sending super chats or comments about the performance. When he doesn't score, people feel obliged to be like, oh. And that's what causes the whole back and forth.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more. Like, you know, I know, like, me and you probably do it for a little bit of banter and whatever, like, but that's fine. But what it is when these players ain't playing well or the manager's not doing well, they don't say nothing. As soon as they start playing, well, look, you know, look at you now. Look, you know, you go on what you think game to game. Things have not been great and everything like that. And when they are great, why can't you just bloody enjoy it? You know what I mean? Like, enjoy it. You know what I mean? One of my mates came up to me yesterday and said, like, they used Arteta out a while ago. You know what I mean? Like, that's 2.5 years ago when we was
people are still mentioning that to me as well.
You know what I mean? Like, 2.5 years ago, like, you know what I mean? Like, you know.
I was Wenger in 20 years ago as well, bro.
Yeah, that's what I said. Like, you know what I mean? I was George Graham in 20 years ago. You know what I mean? I can't get my head around it why people are like that, like, you know. Oh, I remember when you didn't like so and so and whatever. But it's always about opinions and changing opinions.
You know what's funny as well? A lot of these people that are trying to get onto me about the Havertz stuff, which, listen, I still haven't changed my mind. I'm happy to see him improve in form. I wanted this to continue. But a year ago, I was one of the only people saying we need another type of striker, a plan B. And these same fans that are getting on to me about not rating Havertz now were saying at the time, we don't need a tall physical striker because that's not the style of football we play. We need someone fluid. We need someone who's mobile. I was calling for a plan B type of striker like this for a while. And I say like this, I'm talking about the last couple of games, even Brentford off the bench. I mentioned it then in terms of he's another option. James, you said it. His striker is probably his best position so far. Oh, well, his best position, full stop. I agree with that. So he might be the rotation option. He might be the plan B at times. He might be the one that if things are not going well for the new gunman we got in the summer, he comes on, changes it up. We can put balls into the box, balls in over the top. So as much as, I've been hesitant about rating Havertz so far because of what I've seen, I was also calling for a tall, physical striker to complement Jesus a year and a half ago, where a lot of fans were saying, look, this guy's so out of date. He wants a Kevin Nolan.
Who were they backing at the time? And when you were calling for that, who are they backing? Eddie Nketiah.
Eddie
Sorry,
Nketiah.
and I've now mentioned him twice, and everyone's going to think, "Oh, you're so negative. Why are you bringing up?" No. The point we're trying to make is it's very easy to just look at the things that are going right now, and then that means that everything we must have been wrong about everything in the past. But then they forget what was being said back then. That actually did prove the case. But anyway, I think Kai Havertz has been really, really good, and the reason I was reluctant to overdo it on the praise when he was just fine was because
He was just
and I'm
fine.
not saying this now. We did a podcast. I remember Lee agreeing with me. I said, the reason I can't write him off, no matter what I'm saying, the reason I can't quite do it is because so many managers have wanted him, rated him. And I'm not just talking the Artetas where people go, oh, what's he won? I'm talking the Thomas Tuchels. I'm talking other managers, Julian Nagelsmann, who have actually genuinely rated this guy. I want him, Carlo Ancelotti. And I'm like, what am I missing? I see it now. Like I'm seeing it so much more. Burnley and West Ham, we're starting to see it. And I went as far as to say he's looking part of the team. I don't know if the performances are up there in terms of 8s and 9s, but he definitely looks part of the team now. Now I'm saying, and Liverpool as well. Now I'm saying he's looking really good. I had him as second in the man of the match list for the Newcastle game. I had him man of the match in this game for me. When I'm looking at his part to play in the Martinelli goal, when I look at his fourth goal, winning the ball back and then burying it, and then guys, 2 former Chelsea players, Jorginho and Havertz linking up for that Ben White goal. That was an unreal pass for Jorginho. And then Havertz, the run off the ball, because it's quite a deep run he makes to make that run. And then it's touch to bring it down, cut inside, and roll it into Ben White. That is brilliant forward play. Now, in that, you've got the praise that people have been given, the movement and the runs. Cool. But listen, it's nothing without that touch, without the bit of skill, the class, the awareness, and the setup for Ben White. That is the stuff that we want to see, the real kind of tangible stuff as well. That complements all the movement, the commitment, the tactical stuff he does really well. And I think he's been really great. And I will really make that point because I didn't hesitate to make the point when I didn't think he was playing well. And I'll now really kind of hone in on it. I think he's playing great.
By the way, all super chats are still welcome, guys.
Yeah. Also, if we could just...
On that note, there's a person that watches this show as well. So, and I appreciate the support of people who disagree with me as well. But I saw a comment of his on my fan cam yesterday, and I just want to say that Aussie Gooner, you're a dickhead. You know why? You know why I want to say that?
What you should have said what you should have said was, Aussie Gooner, you're a dickhead, but if you're going to abuse me, at least do it on the stream where you can pay £5 to abuse me.
No, but you know what he did? And a lot of people do this. He went on my fan cam yesterday and he wrote, Turkish has been giving Havertz -2 and -3 all season. Now he wants to rate him. You know, that type of dickhead, I can't engage. So I'm just here to say, Aussie Gooner, your name is Kurt, dickhead. And we move on. We move on to Brentford.
Harsh, you know what I mean?
Come on, I've got 10 minutes. Come on.
You read that one of his comments of the day one day. That's why I remember he's here.
I quite like the guy.
That's Lee's mate.
Can I
Australia, mate? Go meet him then, innit?
I'd love to go. By the way, if Arsenal have a tour there, happily.
I've got to say this quickly, like the amount of people coming up to me yesterday. And there was quite a few saying, I love the Forever Arsenal. It's the best thing and everything like that. Big up to them. Dave is doing his university up there, you know, watches it every week. And I say what, it's so humbling when people say how good it is. And,
yeah,
you know, it really is. And they make the time and effort to come up to you and say, the Forever Arsenal podcast is fantastic. You know, don't miss it. You know, it's very humbling. So thank you for everybody that supports it.
I actually echo that with Lee, because whenever people do contact us, it is the Forever Arsenal podcast they've mentioned, and we have worked really hard, and I'm just glad it's all coming to fruition for us.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You don't like it. He gets a bit prickly. He gets a bit prickly when you mention sleep and everything with him.
James is the problem. James is the problem.
No.
James is the problem. Let's go.
You know, he's we've got this sponsor called Emma Sleeps, isn't it? Like, apparently we're going to be doing the tactical insight. Like, they've got a 4-year deal.
Let's go.
Sleep within 10 seconds is their motto. Like, I mean, like, Get Emma Sleeps, it'll be down to 8 seconds.
People, listen, we're going to move on to Brentford. We're going to touch on it. Have a little few thoughts on that before prediction table. But now's a chance to hit the like button, get it up to 1,000. If it's on 1,000, get it up to 2,000. You know how it goes. Share it on the socials. Tag us. We've all got our social media profiles at James B, at Lee Judges, at Jordan, Jarrett, Brian, at Turkish LDN. We all post the AFT. Just make sure you follow it. Make sure you subscribe. Do all of that stuff, people. And yeah, Brentford. I mean, Partey saw some minutes off the bench for the first time since October. Jesus saw some minutes off the bench for the first time in a little while.
There weren't great cameos, were they?
Rusty.
Like, I'll be really honest. I mean, my inner Jordan is saying if I do have one negative, I thought some of them looked a bit crap.
Vieira
looked good. Vieira did look sharp.
Okay.
Good burst of pace. He did well. He did do well. Jesus, you could see moments and like sparks and like, okay, Rusty, he'll get that back. Partey looked off it, but he hasn't played for 6-7 months.
Yeah. And it showed.
It's really not the end of the world, but yeah.
I prefer this. Bed back in, get your minutes. You're not setting the world alight. No one's talking about, oh my God, did you see Partey and Jesus off the bench? Or let them come. Porto next week. Jesus, just be ready for that one. Come and have
it makes me laugh. The reason I'm laughing about it is because A, I totally back these players to come through it, and B, because we were all so excited about the return of all these players, and we looked at the bench and the squad, and when we saw them, we were all a bit like, oh, fair enough. That'll be fine.
Aside from the players, well, Emma Smith-Rowe didn't get a sniff, even though he's back.
No, that was the only damn thing for me. Like Smith-Rowe, Nelson, who's been backing Saka up all season, gets overlooked for Vieira. Look, I know it happens. And Eddie, all our 3 English guys never got on yesterday, so that tells you a big story.
They're done. They're done. Yeah, they're done.
Yeah.
And that's not off the back of just not coming on against Sheffield United.
No.
I think,
this is their opportunity. They've been there and thereabouts, getting minutes, contributing. There was an opportunity to give Nelson 45 minutes to go Vieira. Odegaard, could have come off a lot earlier, and Smith-Rowe coming into that position didn't happen. And then, as far as the forwards are concerned, half fit Jesus come on in front of a fully fit Eddie. Tells you all you need to know. If I was one of those guys yesterday, I'd have been disappointed.
Considering they've actually been available for quite a while, and they may not serve just through their kind of the travelling and being available, whatever. But Arteta gave the minutes to the players he thinks are going to be needed more in the time.
Yeah, and that's what he did. The ones that he feels are going to be vital for the title running, and that tells you all you need to know.
Did Arsenal fans really sing 10 more years, Cedric Suarez? Is that true?
They did. Then they started singing, someone started singing 10 more days, which was a bit out of
Where is the Eddie Brigade recently? Anyway, have you lot handed in your badges and found a new role for yourselves? Because
this is what I mean. And then they go. They call us negative.
Months ago, Turkish.
They call us negative, and we had something to say back then.
If I remember rightly,
I paid that bet 2 months ago.
James, all right though. I mean, they've just moved on to the next person to back.
Yeah, and if Eddie comes back and scores 3 goals, they go, "I told you about Eddie."
Number 14.
Where are you?
Like we won't be delighted. Do you think if Eddie comes into the 11, does absolutely nothing but contribute 1 goal and we win the title, like I won't be delighted anyway?
Yeah, exactly,
I don't people don't get it anyway. Never mind.
Come on, guys.
That's what people don't understand. Even with the Havertz, people what time? 6 minutes. We got 6 minutes. We got more than enough time.
Just on Brentford, look, I did the whole humble thing for Sheffield United. I could easily do the same thing again. We drew with them 1-1 last year, and they can be sturdy, but look, let's be real. Brentford haven't really been Brentford of last year. They've had some players missing, and they're kind of starting to get them back. I mean, Visa, for example, what a goal he scored against Chelsea. But look, I expect Arsenal to win. I do. I will still say, if we get to 60 minutes 0-0, I won't be totally and utterly surprised. I expect them to want to and intend to make it difficult for us because they play a back three, they pack out the midfield, and Tom Frank's a good manager. I also think Ivan Toney is going to play with a point to prove. What I hope is that if we play the football we've been playing, we dominate, we don't give them a sniff, that actually these informed players just get a couple goals and we steal the 3 points. What makes this game huge, Brentford at home, what makes it big is just the fact that it's Anfield, City travelling there the day after. And even though they're not in it, Villa facing Tottenham, you just want to just really kind of just put that to bed. Because Villa are only 6 behind us.
It's relevant because in the last month or so, what we've been doing really well is responding to pressure. We have a chance on the weekend to put the pressure on. If we go top of the league on the weekend, we're now putting the pressure on City and Liverpool. So it's a really important game from that perspective. And in the words of Tokish, just smoke them.
I don't think we will. I'll tell you what. I don't think we will smoke them tomorrow on Saturday. I think we'll win, but I don't think it'll be a massive win. And the reason being that we've got a game against Porto 3 days later. I think that we're try and get the job done early and then make changes. And when you make changes, there's disruption. I don't care what anybody says. That game yesterday there was disruption because of the changes. You know what I mean? Like I think did they make all 5 of there? I think they did as well. Like Sheffield. So like 10 changes. I think Arsenal will have one eye on that Tuesday game if they don't get up early.
I hope they don't, Lee.
I think actually, I don't think they will to the beginning, James. It'd be like on it. But if they're 2-3-0 up at half time, expect change.
Yeah.
Quick comments of the week then. Is that what we're on? Or anything else around Brentford? We've got predictions, don't we?
Predictions. Yeah.
Hey, what's going on here?
I'm just get on with it.
I'm sure what's going on.
Some of us are hard out by 9, please.
Jordan, not you, James. You're on my fucking side.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Getting right above his station lately, isn't he? Like
He is.
Right above his station.
Well, this is tactical going at over 100
You
kb.
better be wearing those glasses next time I see you. That's all I'm saying. Like,
come on, keep it rolling. What is it? Predictions, comments of the day. Come on.
Got things to do. Come on. Let's go.
All right, James. All right. Give me a chance, mate. Yeah, people. 38 games played, 38 predictions made. Everyone got a point off the back of the Sheffield United win. No one predicted it. Bang on. So James, 31 in first place. I'm in second on 27. Lee's in third on 25. Jordan, fourth on 23. Back to James for the prediction. Brentford at home.
Torn between 2-0 and 3-1. We concede at home, don't we?
No, not really.
3-1, but not like just 3-1. I'm gonna shut up. 3-1.
Not like what? Because I'm gonna give you a chance to change your mind because I don't like that you went with the score that I was gonna go with.
No, I'll stick with it. Just like I don't think it's gonna be one of those like super emphatic 3-1s.
All right.
If you know what I mean by that, like 3-0 up to the 89th minute. I don't think it'll be quite like that. I think.
I'm gonna go 3-0.
Oh man.
Mr. Lee judges.
4-0 then.
4-0. Mr. Jordan, Jarrett, Brian.
I was going to go 3-1. Then I was going to go 3-0.
4-0.
We're going to go 1-1 there.
All right, 2-0. 2-0.
All right.
Yeah, I think like 4 is pushing it, I think. But there you go.
Yeah, me, Lee, and Jordan have gone for wins with clean sheets. James has gone for 3-1. So it's all wins predicted. Let us know yours in the comment section below.
Aaron Ramsdale's in goal, by the way.
Oh yeah, Ramsdale's back in goal. Probably his last appearance for Arsenal, unless.
I'll be at the game. I'll be at the stadium at 12 o'clock.
Try not to run on the pitch to get his shirt. You're gonna see Lee holding up sign. Ramsdale, give me your shirt. Don't do that.
While standing next to his dad.
Yeah.
All right, come on. Let's crack on. What's next?
Comments of the day, mate. Fucking hell. You know what? Fuck it. Here you go. Fuck it.
For our audio listeners, Turkish has stepped away from the throne and
had a sulk
James
up.
in
It's
charge.
as simple as that.
He's sulking.
He's had a sulk up.
He's sulking.
You know?
Yeah, he is. He's having a bit of salt. All right. Anyway, big thanks for joining. Catch you in a bit. Okay.
I would have deducted the point of each and every one of you for not bringing comments of the day. I wish you let that run.
This is the best bit of the show. The comments this week.
Can I go first? Because I
Go
think most people have got this, and I've only got one.
Oh, go on. I got that.
Next time my bosses at work ask me why I was late for a meeting, my response will be like Jordan's. I like to have sex. I like to eat. I like to watch Netflix. What a guy. I tell you, like, you know what I mean?
What a guy.
I imagine up and down the country, there's been a few lazy excuses coming out, like, you know what I mean? Absolute quality.
I'm late. I like to have sex. You know what I mean? What's the big deal? You know what I mean? Get on with it.
My one's from my one's from Laurent. He says, "Got to love how each forever
that's my one.
takes their banter." Turkish, yeah, I'm negative. So what? Lee, yeah, I start sentences the same way. So what? James, yeah, I like tactics and stats. So what? Jordan, fight me, you virgins. My life is 100 times. Big up, don't ever change.
That was funny. I'll go next. I think this week actually might have been potentially the best week for comments. There was like 10 I could have picked. They were so good this week, but I picked up this idiot here. I won't give him the credit of naming him. He's got here though. The fact that
Gooooo.
No. Some next on. The fact that Jordan doesn't understand how we cannot miss a Champions League knockout stage game of that much importance tells you how much of a fan he is of the club. Lee is spot on when he says he just wouldn't be able to miss the match for a Netflix show. If you're a casual fan, you should not be doing an Arsenal podcast. Mate, I watched the game. I watched the entire game after the game. What don't people understand? I watched the whole 90 minutes just after the 90 minutes. Like, I watch all the games. But yeah, he's not a real fan. I don't want to curse, but stick it.
What's that fella's name?
I'm not going to name him, but
I quite like him. I think he's right.
He was going to give him an MBE or something.
You would.
Mind you, I've got to say, I did catch it. I watched all that series. It's fantastic.
It's good, isn't it?
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
See? Yeah, it's very good.
So you all read out mine, but I just managed to find a last-minute one from James Justice. Watching Kai Havertz win duels is better than sex, Jordan.
That's a good one. I didn't even see that one.
That's a good one.
People, keep your comments coming in for comments of the day. Next time we'll be back after the Brentford game and before the big one against Porto. Fuck this guy. There's a place available on Fourever. Please put your applications into Turkish LDN and Instagram, Twitter. Welcome coming on YouTube.
I back you up on this Turkish. Just get rid of him. Let's get rid of him.
It should have been done a long time ago.
He should have been, guys. We've been carrying him for far too long, like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. And now he's gone. He's off the top of the table, so I'm actually leading for the first. Yeah. All right then. Hope you have enjoyed. Me, Jordan, and Lee, the Fourever Arsenal podcast. We'll be back after Brentford before Porto. Love for the love people. We're out. Peace.